So Rebecca here from Fortune Valley Farm. I just wanted to do a little update. This one will be short this time for a garden tour. Part of why it's going to be so short is because I live in the Okanagan, and the heat wave that has come through BC in general has really done some serious damage to a lot of our plants, and a lot of our we've lost some poultry as well. This is how the ground looks now. This is our plum tree, the prune tree that I think I started with last time, or maybe it was the second plant that we looked at. But in any case, this is how the lawn looks now. Everything is crispy. The temperatures have been around anywhere between 42, it started in the week, to 40, I believe it was 44 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, something like that. Anyways, it just got hotter and hotter. Some of the cherries are still on there, on the cherry tree, but the problem now is that they're super dry. And my poor little blackcurrant plant, as you can see, the leaves here are just, they're crispy. And all of the bounty I was hoping to pick this week is pretty well gone. There won't be anything to pick, really. Everything is so dry and brittle. Just hang on here. I'm just going around to some of the other plants. The mint has been okay because it's right near the house, and I've had the soaker hose on quite a bit this week. And the same with the other Jerusalem artichoke. They have also been okay. Sorry, I just realized the sprinkler was on over the garden as well. So the poor plants have just barely made it through this whole week. It's been really hard on the plants, and like I said, we've lost a couple of hens as well from the heat. They just couldn't take it and they passed away. So that was really hard. And the plants, they're just, like I said, just barely holding on. The borage was quite a bit fuller, and it had a lot of blossoms. Those blossoms are mostly all burned out now because of the extreme heat. And then the poor little evening primrose, they're still holding on, but they're not looking great by any stretch. And the pepper is just hanging on too. It's got some dried ends as well, so I don't know if it's actually going to make it or not. And at that stage right now, we're not even considering like what kind of bounty we're going to get. We're just looking at, is the plant even going to survive? Because this has been the worst time for harvesting and everything. You can't, just going into the garden is difficult in itself because everything is so dry. So I'm just going to wait for this sprinkler to go by, and then we'll have a look and see if there is any plant life much here in the garden. So I'm just going to follow the sprinkler. Yeah. Look at our field, it's just dry as a bone. It's like poor blackberry bushes. Again, they're just, some of these are crispy. I tried to keep everything as watered as I could, but that's the problem with this kind of heat when it comes like that. It's so intense. So we've had, this tomato plant had a lot of blossom on it before, and those all crisped up and disappeared. These plants here, the asparagus seem to be hanging on okay. They don't seem to be having too much difficulty. And some of the weeds, well, you know what weeds are like. I just got to watch out here because there's also some bees in here. They're still working. Uh-oh, I'm going to get wet again. The feverfew is hanging on. It seems to be like holding its own. Here's my poor bee balm. They're not doing so great. And I don't think I don't feel very hopeful about sprinkler again. I don't feel very hopeful about these plants at all, because they were already dry and now they're like crispy. I think that's the echinacea, maybe. I don't even know, to be honest, what that plant was, but I think so. Here's our strawberries. As you can see, they're pretty burned up too. It's been really hard on them. And a couple of my comfrey are continuing to do okay in the bathtub. I was worried that they weren't going to make it, but looks like they might. Yeah, so here's my other plants in here, and the evening primrose, and they're, like I said, they're not doing great, but they haven't completely died, and I have been watering this like all the time. It's just been so hot that they're, even with the watering, it's just been too much. And of course I haven't been able to do any weeding for like the whole week because it's been too intense heat. And that kind of an intense heat exposure makes you feel kind of sick. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how these comfreys are coming along. I did start them as well. This is in that wading pool, little kiddie pool, and they do seem to be they're doing okay. They're not dying. They're actually doing better than some of my other plants. Kind of surprises me since they're transplants, but whatever. Sprinkler again. Okay, so I wanted to show you my poppies. And again, I think I've already said how these are different in that there's more than one kind in here being produced in this garden. And then here's my poor kale plants. So the one, despite all this heat, seems to be doing okay. But then something ate my other one. So I'm not sure if that one's going to produce anything or not. I might just have to write that one off along with a lot of my other plants. And I gotta go through the weeds again to get out. Here's a little blackberry bush that was, or some kind of bush, I don't know if it's blackberry or raspberry, that was trying to come up this year. And unfortunately, I'm not sure it's going to make it. There's been, even the evenings have been in the 20s, so that makes it hard for the plants to recover from the intense heat. So I'm going to walk to the next spot here. Just hang on, going to the next. I think I finished off last time. Yeah, look at this poor thing again. It's just done in. Wow. It's hard to believe that that kind of intense heat, even though it was only like for a week, could produce that. Like, look at the plantain is even dying on the lawn. It's really amazing. The stinging nettle we had in the field, done, gone. There was nothing to sustain it. No rain of any kind. Oh, and we will just go ahead here and just hang on. I'm hoping, oh, you can hear the crunching on the lawn. I'm hoping that these plants are going to make it as well. I'm not sure. The one on the left in particular was really struggling. This one here has some, oh yeah, crispiness on the leaves. It's been so hard to keep things alive, never mind growing really well. And we end up in these odd spots here where there's actually green grass growing and it's soft to walk on. Pretty well, most of it, a lot of it looks like this. So it's really hard to feel hopeful about this when it's crispy fried. There is always concerns, of course, about having thunderstorms and things. They're always on the horizon, and today we're on a severe thunderstorm watch again. So I don't know what's going to happen. With the weather, you just don't know. See over here, there's green. But anyways, you can probably hear all the animals in the background. It's almost feeding time. And I should end this now. Anyways, everybody stay safe and try to be kind. And I hope everybody has an okay day. It's July 1st here, which is normally a celebration day, but it has not been a celebratory day in Canada in the same way as normal. There's a lot of grief and loss going on.